Shin-Rob, have you seen me shave? Jerry here, and today I have cooked you a succulent Shin-Godzilla shaped meatloaf. Oh. Let's get started. But before we get started, yep, you guessed it. Same poster, double-sided. Same newspaper clipping, double-sided. Same pamphlet, double-sided. Oh, we got that out of the way. Now, let's dig in. No, we can't really eat this thing. It is made out of vinyl, and I don't know anybody that would actually want to eat Shin-Godzilla meat. Now, normally, this is where I would have the thing on the little turntable, and I would talk about some expositional stuff, but that big charging over there. So what I am going to do for you is spin this on this dinner plate that I have over here, and truly, first impressions of this thing is that, yes, it is rather massive, not as massive as I thought it would be, but dear God, there are some extremely strong points for Bandai on this thing, like very, very strong points. But of course, there are a little bit of faltering pieces to this thing, but I do not think that those faltering pieces are essentially going to ruin the very construct of this figure. The basic idea is what I should have said. Construct. It's like I'm talking about important science. No, I'm talking about a hunk of vinyl made by Bandai. With that being said, let's take a look at this tag. This tag must be turned from vertical to horizontal to read its official title and look at the official image, officially. This is the Godzilla Awaji Island landing version, of course based on the attraction on Awaji Island right now. You can zip line into Godzilla's mouth, shoot stuff, hit him with the who knows. And along the side of the tag over here it says Godzilla 2020. This will probably be the final little thing we get out of Bandai in 2020. And on the back, quite possibly my favorite part, is this. This is awesome. I would love to have this as an art print. I kind of wish this was the front of the tag. As you can see here, it says Godzilla Interception Operation Awaji. National Awaji Island Institute of Godzilla Disaster. Very nice. Opening up the tag, you can see a bunch of stuff that you may or may not understand. You got something you can scan. And over here you can see Godzilla Awaji Island landing version, and that is pretty much that. And now we are just going to turn this way, and we are going to initiate a new portion of Bandai reviews where I put tags in these nifty hard plastic little card holders so they may be preserved. Now let's talk about this hunk of meat / paperweight. Right off the bat, I am immediately impressed by all of the grand detail we are going to see from the top of the head to the side of the neck. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And I think this might actually be the first and only Bandai Shin-Godzilla item that actually has the pupil fully painted. All the teeth are individually sculpted and individually painted, for the most part. Fantastic detail on the membrane over here, which is painted this very blood red color. Don't worry, we'll get to it. As you can see, you have even more amazing detail going into the gill over here, or the vent or something. And we have this very nice bolt over here, which is something I'm assuming Godzilla fell on once he made landfall at Awaji Island. Taking a closer look, the detail, while pretty basic on these nuts and bolts over here, looks pretty dang good, especially with the combination of that paint. Turning this meaty little paperweight on its side over here, you can see that there is actually some detail on the side of these bolts. Some rivets, I think they would be called. Very nice touch. And I guess while we're here, you can see there's detail for the dirt. That's it. That is honestly frightening. Terrifying. Ugh. Taking a look at the inside of Shin-Godzilla's mouth, as questionable in nature as always, but very beautifully detailed. While the details really don't majorly pop unless this
is under some bright photogenic light,
this is still rather impressive for a Bandai figure, and I will say that every single time I have an open-mouthed Shin-Godzilla from Bandai on this channel. Get used to it. And here we have a very lovely view of all of the teeth that are going to be on this thing. As you can see, the teeth are going to be painted on both sides. This is not a half-sided thing, which is pretty funny because I didn't pay $40+ for this, but Kaiju Raijin, you know what, we're done there. And for the most part, you are going to get very perfectly painted teeth, except when you move it around over here and note this is just for my copy of it. I haven't seen this problem pop up on a few, but not many. Yeah, there's going to be some messy paint over here. This actually looks like it was painted and it was touched before it should have been. So it does look a little scraped up over here. And these two teeth right here that are actually joined together, you can see that this one's not fully painted. Lifting this up a little bit, you can see that these teeth aren't painted.
painted, but looking at it that way, I guess you can understand why. Got a little messy paint job going over here along Godzilla's lips. But for the most part, the rest of the teeth were hit fairly well. Nothing too majorly critical else to say. Few spots here and there, but for the most part, these teeth are perfect. Yet again, another major stride for Bandai. Yet again, another instance where ShinRobjira has to ask Bandai why. But anyway, moving on. Since this paperweight is only really going to account for Godzilla's head to about mid back and shoulder area, you're not going to get any arms on this thing. He's just a chunk. And as for the typical Bandai norm, you're going to get the same red paint that was present on their Bandai Movie Monster series Shin-Godzilla. You're just going to get a lot more of it. Taking a closer look at the neck, nothing too crazy. It's the back that deserves the most attention. Just look at that. He's like an oozy scab on the back. Very, very nicely done. You are going to get some of this reddish orange on like the root of these dorsal fins. Not all of them are going to be majorly covered in them, but as you see over here, you can see over here, over here, over here, some of them were hit with that orangish red, and I honestly don't mind that too much. I don't know if it's because I'm used to it or what, but I really don't mind it. And in all honesty, I feel like either side of these dorsal fins were hit pretty evenly, so it doesn't look too off. And getting in closer, just look at that beautiful, beautiful detail on these pine cone dorsal fins. The grimmetry is so very nice. And in talking about nice detail, the skin on this opposite side of this paperweight meatloaf thing is fantastic. And we've got more reddish orange paint on this gill vent over here. Yet again, we have more bolts, superbly painted, although this one does have a bit of a black smudge on them. But the rest are very nicely painted, very nicely detailed, just like the ones on the other sides. And for the most part, you're really not going to get much different than you got on the other side. You're going to get the detail on the ground over here. You're going to get the detail for the membrane, the teeth, the face, the dark pupil, the actually painted dark pupil, the inside of the mouth. It's all very much the same on both sides. The bottom does say trademark and copyright Toho Company Limited, Bandai made in China, serial number in 2009, unless that's part of the serial number, because I don't think this thing would be in existence for 2009. I personally really like this thing. I like it a lot. And if this is the final Bandai thing we get of Shin-Godzilla, I'd be perfectly fine with that, honestly. I think this is really cool, and in all honesty, I wouldn't mind if we got more of these, actually. Wouldn't mind a Heisei Godzilla like this, a Showa-era Godzilla, a Millennium-era Godzilla. This would just be a cool mini-series for Bandai to do. Oh, he a long boy. Not a very tall boy, though. In all honesty, Bandai only mucking up one and very tiny area of a major release like this is a breath of fresh air. Sure, it doesn't make up for the fact that there shouldn't be any mucked up parts of their releases. I'm not going to complain about the thing, and I am going to sing my praises because it really is just one tiny little space. I truly do love this thing, and I hope this is something Bandai considers doing with other designs of Godzilla. Like I said before, I'd welcome any design in this format. It's just strange and just weird enough to keep me coming back for more. While I doubt that's something that will happen, I'd still look forward to it. Also Bay. Now I know this has been a rather short review for a Bandai product, especially from me, Shin-Rob Bandai Movie Monster Series fanboy Jira, but that's all I really have to say on this thing. I want to see more and I like how it turned out. I do so hope you're satisfied with your entrees and we can move on to the dessert. Yes.
And that's all I have to say about ShinRobjira over here. Absolutely a step in the right direction for Bandai, but is this something that they're actually going to hold true to? Only time will tell. Anyway, do so hope you enjoyed this now, the final video of 2020. Patrons, thank you all so much for becoming ShinRobjira patrons. Truly, it means the world to me. If you would like to become a ShinRobjira patron, you can check the links in the description below. You'll find Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that other stuff. And you'll find a link to my Redbubble page where you can cop yourself some ShinRobjira merch. So long and good night, everybody, and 2020. Until next we meet in 2021, I have nothing planned to say, but here is this meatloaf. Ah!